Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a little bit freeform in the sense that it's going to hopefully serve two purposes. The first one is going to be a rant about, I guess, software YouTubers and influencers in general and why they piss me off, and I'm kind of part of this group, but I'll explain in a little bit. And then the second is kind of based off that rant where I kind of want the direction of this channel to go. So let's just go ahead and get into it, and I'll kind of explain why I'm making such a broad statement to say that most software engineering influencers are not that useful. And basically the reason this started is because I was doing some soul searching in the direction that I want to be taking my channel. So far this has been basically an interview prep channel for systems design, which, if you're new to this and don't really know much about it, basically means that, they're higher level interviews for people who are already junior level or higher software engineers. And as a result, they have to basically learn skills beyond just lead code, which is what you mostly hear about when you're trying to get your first software job. And basically the original purpose behind this channel was I recognized that there was a pretty big hole, at least in my opinion, in terms of the existing systems design videos out there. I thought a lot of them were by people who were either making a lot of mistakes in their videos, were just, copying existing books and basically just pasting it onto YouTube, which, I've done plenty of, sure, but at least I try to add my own twist. And then just generally I wanted to be in a niche that was a little bit less covered than, lead code type style videos where there are literally thousands of them, and there's nothing to differentiate you, right? There's pretty much an objective solution to all of these problems. At least in systems design, it's a little bit more open-ended. And so I've kind of predicated my channel around trying to make videos that, have additional value to, my average viewer beyond what already existed out there. And so now that I've kind of made a bunch of these videos, I'm asking myself, well, what do I want to make now? And this is where my rant comes in. I feel like a lot of software engineering YouTubers, because, there's so much motivation to just do anything that will get you clicks, anything that will generate more views to get more revenue for your channel, they will make content that is purposefully redundant and basically serves no marginal value for the viewer, right? So, as someone who's watched plenty of these videos throughout the course of my career, because, at some point I had to start from ground zero and learn all this stuff, I've watched enough videos, for example, on like the resume that you need to get into a good tech company. But every single time some new software engineering influencer pops up and does this, it's not because they're actually helping their viewers, they're just trying to attract views to their channel. And, as a result, now the viewer kind of has to do some due diligence on their part to basically say, with every single video that I watch, what actual marginal value is this getting me? Is this going to provide me with an additional amount of help over what I already know? Because at the end of the day, you only have a limited amount of time. You're trying to study to get all these new roles. And, basically what ends up happening is the majority of these videos by influencers that claim to be helping you are just going to end up wasting your time because they have no new original information to add. And I don't want to become one of these channels where basically I'm, acting as if I'm helping you out, doing you a favor. And then as opposed to posting anything useful, I just post all of these, videos that are same old, like, do personal projects, lead code, etc., etc. Here's what to put on your resume. And then when people comment stuff asking for help, I just purposely provide vague answers so you guys have to keep watching more of my videos. Screw that. I'm not about that. And truthfully, it's not like I make enough money from this channel anyway that I'm so desperate for those views. So here's where I think it kind of goes from there. I've basically told you now that watching every single one of these, redundant videos has an opportunity cost. You're studying, you're trying to make the most of your time, you're trying to get good jobs, and, to an extent, I'm in the same boat. I don't want to go ahead and waste hours of my day, looking at the millionth time how to solve, like, the lead code problem to some, or, how to build a better resume. I want to be efficient with my time. And that's kind of the philosophy I've had with my channel as well. I'm not going to post a video if I think that there's nothing I can say that's going to be unique on the scale of YouTube. This entire channel so far, I believe at least, has been helpful because I've been able to post content that, in one place I've been able to cover pretty much the entire breadth of systems design in a way that I feel no other channel has been able to do. And maybe that's not fully true, but that's at least what I've been trying to do. And, at least in the future videos that I'm trying to post, I want to continue with the same philosophy. I want to be posting videos that actually have, some marginal benefit to my viewer who actually watches them, as opposed to just posting stuff that already exists out there. And, you could just go ahead and watch someone else's video that already exists. I would be wasting my time and you would be wasting yours. So now, let me impart, I guess, two pieces of advice, because this has definitely helped me a lot in the past, and this is probably the only time I'll give like concrete advice on this channel, other than, you know, studying related stuff. I guess this is career advice on my end, even though I'm not overly experienced. If you are studying to try and interview for these jobs, then I would say there are two important things. One is, if you're prepping, just interview, fail. You know, fail some interviews. It's okay. Every single company I've worked for, I have bricked many interviews. In fact, the only reason I started studying systems design was because I bricked a few interviews about it, and then I said to myself, shit, I should probably start learning this. And that's really the only way that you can self-evaluate your skills and what you're good at and what you're not good at, in order to start thinking about, well, how should I best use my time when I'm studying? For example, if you go into an interview and they ask you a dynamic programming question and you get absolutely bodied, but then they ask you a graph traversal question and you killed it, you can say, okay, maybe I should, you know, reevaluate my study strategy and start allotting more time to dynamic programming instead of graph traversal, or something along those lines. So I guess concretely, my first tip would be, don't be afraid to fail, because you can always interview with all these companies again. They don't hold it against you. And additionally, you have to be able to embrace failure and bounce back from when you do, and say, okay, well, what is it that I have to do this time around in order to get better at the skills that I was lacking? And then the second piece of advice is, and this is kind of, you know, more pertaining to what I was saying earlier in this video, every single time that you're studying something, you should be asking yourself, what marginal benefit am I getting out of watching this piece of content? What marginal benefit am I getting out of reading this chapter of a book? Do I really need this, or is this something that's only going to come up in such a limited scenario that it's probably not worth my time to learn it? I will say right now that, to put it in CSGO terms, you're literally bringing a nuke to a knife fight if you're learning all of this systems design stuff and, you know, you don't even have your first software engineering job. And to an extent, I kind of did that, and I regret it slightly, but it's been fun to learn, and I'm passionate about it. But if your one goal is to, you know, just get a better job through interviewing, you need to be studying in a way that maximizes your time. And so every single time you watch one of these videos from, whether that be me or some other YouTuber, it's very important to think, why am I watching this? Is this covering something that I don't already know? And if it is, sure, go ahead and watch it. But if you're already very comfortable with it, I mean, unless you're super passionate about the subject and you just want to learn, go for it. But if you're just trying to maximize your time, then, you know, fuck that. Like, and so that's kind of what gets me pissed off about a lot of YouTubers that I see on this platform, is that, you know, they're posting videos that are just so redundant, you know, and there was nothing wrong with the first, you know, 5-10 people who did it, but now I see people who are posting stuff and genuinely adding zero new information to, you know, how they got their job, or being particularly useful in a way that sets them apart from anyone else. And they're still getting views. And, you know, it's sad for me to see, because I know that means people are just going and wasting their time trying to gain some sort of marginal benefit from these videos that's really not there. And so ultimately that kind of brings me to the next part of this video, which is, I've covered a ton of systems design at this point. I feel like, you know, with the exception of maybe one or two small topics, and feel free to comment and tell me what I need to cover still, I feel like we should maybe be moving on. I mean, the videos are still here. They're not going anywhere. People who were lagging behind watching them can still go ahead and watch them. But for me personally, I feel like it would be a better use of my time to learn something else in order to kind of better advance my career. And so that's something I'm very much still actively thinking about. I'm still going to be posting on this channel all the time because I still really enjoy doing it. And, you know, some of it might be BS comedy stuff because I just have fun with that. But at the end of the day, the next topic that I want to learn is going to be hopefully one that has, you know, the biggest marginal benefit to me in order to learn. And additionally, one that is interesting for viewers to watch. So again, you know, part of this video, in addition to just being a rant, is to hopefully get some feedback from my audience in terms of what you would like to hear me study. And perhaps additionally, you know, if anything like, I don't know, operating systems or C++ or competitive programming, which are all things that I'm looking into studying more because they're just not my strong suits, interests you, then please do let me know. And again, you know, I'm going to try and teach it in a way that is unique and actually gives value over the existing content that's out there, because if all I was going to do was regurgitate all the information from a single source, then I wouldn't be doing anyone any benefits. I mean, you should just go ahead and read that textbook, for example. If all this channel was just me reading DDIA and then summarizing it for you guys, then I wouldn't do it. You guys should just go and read DDIA. At least I thought I had something to add. So that's kind of my rant. I just, want you all to be wary of a lot of the influencers out here, because at the end of the day, everyone's main objective is just to draw up views and gain money from doing that. And so a lot of the time, even though they, say that, okay, we're helping you interview prep out here, the truth of the matter is they're actually wasting your time more than they are helping you learn new things. And so, be wary of that. That's all. And yeah, anyways, guys, unique video for the channel, but I've wanted to make this one for a while because it's kind of a concern that I often think about. I don't want to become like those channels, and I'm trying to actively avoid doing that. So yeah, I'm going to keep posting, and I'm looking forward to it.